17 BC. Look across the booth. Want to say good morning to our buddy Jeff Hines. We're going to hear from him later on this afternoon, the voice of Florida motocross down there. We're going to talk to him here in a little bit. So glad to have him in the house with us, hanging out. He's working with Pro Action, I believe, this week, helping out some of their riders as well. Fantastic. So good deal. All right, we're going to get him up in the booth with us here a little bit this afternoon, but it is on right now. Casey Cochran, a little redemption right now. Hall shot the number 66 machine out front. Talked to his mom there a little bit ago. Said, man, they put 55 gallon of fluid in him last night.
Oh,
said,
yeah.
As soon as they finish one bottle, they put another one. It said everything, Gatorade, Arma, water. Said we're going to put it in him last night. Got that guy rehydrated. Must have did the trick because the number 66 out front leading the way.
Hey, gave him enough to get him a good start, and he remains out there. He does have a little bit of company behind him on that Husqvarna. Was that Noah Stevens I saw? Got a glance at it. We'll know for sure in just a second. Rolling through. Yeah, look at Casey Cochran out front. Good drive right there. Oh! And what went from one rider turns into three riders down. We got two guys up. Boy, that was Logie Bear. Logan Best, also your guy who took a P1 in Moto number 1, goes down, able to get back on the machine. Did not get the number of our rider that is still down on the track, but a tough break for some guys that were jockeying for position in that 2, 3, and 4 spot. So things are really going to be shaken up here. After a lap completed, Noah Stevens, the number 97 KTM, inherits that second place position. Not too mad about it. Clark Robbins in the number 3 spot, JJ Willow in the number 4 spot, and Luke Fosner back in 5th place after 1. So a wild first lap here in your 125 junior, 12-17. Outside of that, top 5, Thor Powell in the number 6 spot. Cullen Allen in the number 7 position with Whisper Smith, the number 62 KTM in 8th place. Dylan Blecka in the number 9 spot, and Reese Wheaton rounds out your top 10. Welcoming back into the booth, Rodney Tomlin. Rodney, we've had a wild one in lap number 1 here. Already some riders going down late in that lap, and they're going to be at least middle of the pack now with a lot of work to do the rest of this moto.
Well, I'll tell you, Mikey Wayne's good to see Casey Cochran got the whole shot, was able to hang on to the lead. One thing that I am noting here as I look down through these standings, through these top 16 riders, your Moto 1 winner, Logan Best out of Northport, Florida, the Yamaha factory rider, is, absent from the top 16, at least here on lap number 1. One rider to keep an eye on, though. You know we love him so much because he's out in the GNCC. That, of course, the 15 of Thor Powell. He's a rider we expect to get stronger as the day rolls on. Unfortunately for him, he's had a rough beginning to the week. A little bit banged up coming into this one, but he may have had a day or two to get that stretched out and maybe lay down some law out here on this track as we're watching 15 machine right now. Heading on, putting some pressure on Luke Fowler for the top 5 position as our 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place positions not too far off pace from one another. Around the Thor sweeper we go now. This will be wrapping up lap number 2. And Mikey, I'll take a look here in just a moment, see if I can find out more about what's going on with our Moto 1 winner. Logan Best, 27th place position is
okay.
Yeah,
he was one of the riders, Rodney, that got tangled up there, came off the bike. We saw him get back on it, but yeah, good to see where he's at on the track right now. We'll see what Logan Best has got for these guys as the moto wears on, see if he can't start clicking off some positions. Meanwhile, Casey Cochran, 2 laps in, turns a 1:56.811. That's going to be your fastest lap time so far. Noah Stevens at number 97 in the 2 spot. Clark Robbins rounding out your top 3. JJ on the number 80 KTM in the number 4 spot. And Thor Powell moves up into 5th place. So gets around a rider, Colin Allen there in the number 6 spot. Luke Fosner in 7th. Whispering Smith in the number 8 spot, Kaysen Little 9th, and Reese Wheaton rounding out your top 10.
Well, I'll tell you, the thick of this class is still not sorted out yet as we're watching these riders work through. And that rider right there we're picking up on is the number 6. And that is your Moto 1 winner, Logan Best. As we told you, came through at the end of lap number 1 in 27th place position. As we check in at the end of lap 2, it was 20th place, and we'll see what kind of grounds the number 6 has been able to gain here on lap number 3 now as we wrap it up here in just a few moments. Right now out in Storyland, he is making a lot of passes right now, Mikey Waynes, and we are watching a rider this far back, buried this deep, because we know he has the potential to claw his way through the pack and likely maybe challenge for a podium spot, if not even the win at the end of this one, just from the, well, simple fact, he's got the adrenaline going right now, and he knows he's got a Moto 1 that he needs to back up, a Moto 1 win, and come into that third moto with a strong finish. So he's going to push as hard and as far and as long as he can, and we're going to keep an eye as much as we can on this young rider as he does that. As we said, 20th place last time around. He has passed several riders, and even since we said he passed several riders, passing several more, and at the finish line stripe at the end of lap number 3, still has not broken into the top 16. So as we look at his advancement, 17th place position, he was counted a half second behind the 16th place position, which is what we can see on our leaderboard right now. I have to tend to think as we watch this rider continue to roll that he has made into the top 15 at this point. Back up front we roll now. There is Colin Allen, the number 2 machine. We see that he had moved up into the number 5 spot. A little bit of a switch around there. JJ Willoughby up into the number 4 spot. Allen now 5th. Luke Fowler is 6th. Thor Powell drops back to the number 7 spot. So those guys exchanging some blows out there. Powell coming up on the short end of the stick, dropping to a near 207, but the momentum not waning any whatsoever as he closes back up on the 46 of Luke Fowler.
Pushing right now, no doubt about it. Casey Cochran adds about a second to his lap time. That puts Noah Stevens about 2.5 seconds back. So Noah Stevens just barely. I mean, he ran a 1:57.596. Casey Cochran a 1:57.779. So Stevens trying to find some speed out there, figure out a way to link up with Casey Cochran and fight for a win here. But Casey Cochran maybe settling in there, Rodney, in that 157, 158 mark right here. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good place to settle. He has somewhat of a comfortable buffer there. Backed it up with another 157.2. Now, his fastest lap was a 156.8, and he's only increased that by about 0.4 of a second. So his lap times aren't necessarily slowing down a whole lot, but Noah Stevens is picking his up by a few tenths of a second as he just popped off a 156.8. And that is about 0.4 of a second faster than what Casey Cochran turned last time around, and almost identical to his fastest lap. So we see that Noah Stevens in the early part, and as we approach the midway point of this moto, has the same speeds of Casey Cochran. We'll just see what the second half of the moto shows for both these riders. I know Cochran coming in this one with a big head full of steam. He's got a bright future ahead of him. A lot of big changes for that rider on the horizon, and I really can't wait to see what kind of blossoms out of that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Thor Powell able to pick up that position, pick up a position, I should say. He was up into the 5 spot earlier, dropped back to 7th, but he's gotten around JJ, the number 80, KTM, up into the number 6 position. So he's on the move. Hey, Rodney Tomlin, Logie Bear, Logan Best, the number 6 Yamaha, moves up into the 14 spot, running a 2:01. Which is pretty much faster than the next, 3, 4, 5 guys in front of him. So just a matter of him finding a way around those guys, picking a good line. He may not have the best line choices, the lines he wants right now, but he's making it work.
I tell you, if you're watching the screen right now, Thor Powell just made the pass on Fowler, and he is right there on the rear wheel of Colin Allen. Now he goes outside. Down goes Fowler, so that leaves the battle between Thor Powell now and Colin Allen for the number 4 spot. Those riders are about 7.5 seconds off the pace of a podium position right now, but right now they are battling for this 4th place position, and Thor Powell is fighting for everything that he's got right now, trying to work through this pack. If you look at his Moto 1 results, a 20th place position finish. This is a redemption ride for the young Hawaiian.
Yeah, Thor Powell ringing it out, putting injuries aside and just going for it. So let's see what Thor Powell's got for Colin Allen. Colin Allen's done a pretty good job so far, shutting the door on him. Some good defensive riding.
You know, the interesting thing about this, you go to looking at the scores as Logan Best moves up to the number 12 spot after 5 laps of racing, and you start seeing Casey Cochran, your leader out here right now, who has pretty much led this one wire to wire so far. A 157.585 that last time around for the 66 machine, and he comes into this one with a 2nd place position finish. And as we said in Moto 1, and oftentimes we do, a 2 is as good as a 1, and this is going to bode very huge for Casey Cochran. But I'll tell you, the remainder of the spots are trying to do everything they can in hopes that they get as tight with Casey Cochran as they can heading into that 3rd moto, because they know the luck of Loretta's. Sometimes that 3rd moto could be a hard one for even Casey Cochran, if that be the case.
A mistake by Colin Allen. Thor Powell's there and makes the pass, at least for the moment.
But I tell you, Casey Cochran is running a smooth race, and right now the battle is behind him. And Thor Powell is, just like we said, looking for that redemption, a 20th place finish in Moto number 1. He battles for 4th place right now with every fiber of his being. Colin Allen fights back with every fiber of his as they near the completion of lap number 6. Cochran checks in with his fastest lap of the Moto here at just past the halfway point, a 156.7. Noah Stevens now up to the number 2 spot with a 158 and 3.9 seconds back behind him. Clark Robbins, the 17, in 3rd. Colin Allen is 4th. Thor Powell in 5th.
So Colin Allen gets back around Thor Powell. And Thor Powell's got to push to make another move. He's gotten around him one time on that little mistake by Colin Allen, the battle we were watching on screen. But Thor Powell, if he gets out in front of him, man, got to do something to keep him behind you. Good battle on screen.
Hey, Mikey, I'm down here in the 10 Commandments right now. When we take a look at the entrance, very different than we've seen the last couple days. Right now, the inside line, if you're going to be defensive, a very good entry place. But the outside, as we've seen all week long, starting to develop. If you go outside, keep that momentum up, you're going to be able to triple. A big advantage right now in the 10 Commandments.
It does pay some huge dividends, and definitely the approach and entrance to the 10 Commandments somewhat different as we begin the day here, but as the day progresses, we're going to see it get gnarly as the rest of this race course as Thor Powell is still fighting. Man, he's going from the outside, and now he's side by side as they drag race out of Storyland. Who's going to win this one? Powell on the inside.
Look at that.
The look back. And now they're side by side, and Allen to the inside of this one might have the advantage. And, switching up lines. Man, I tell you what, these guys are going to be whooped when this one is over.
Thor Powell, I think the little checkup from the neck up in the air, that wasn't a, hey, where you at? That was, I'm coming for you. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. But, man, you got to hand it to Colin Allen. He's answered every time. They're either going to come to fisticuffs after this one, or they're going to become best friends and be like, dude, that was gnarly.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, if nothing else, the folks at the Blue Crew have got to be pretty pumped to see that they've got 2 riders that have got that much will and that much fight. And they are laying it out, leaving it all on the track here at Loretta Lynn's. Down in front of the billboard section now, Powell. I'm looking for him to maybe dive in underneath, but he's not getting sneaky. He's using very calculated lines right now and actually using a good bit of patience right now, showing a little bit of maturity as we head into the whole shot forest. Powell on the inside this time, but momentum again as we head to the 10 Commandments. Megawatt Matt Watson there a lap ago. And Matt, are you still out there?
Absolutely, Rodney. You see Powell make a small mistake. Oh, no, he buck-tucked the front end and goes down. I just said the inside was working. It was very smooth. He comes in, catches a knob on that inside rut, and the triangle cycle machine goes down. Heartbreak for the number 15 TP, Thor Powell.
Fowler gets by now, and Fowler moves into that 5 position as he's around Willoughby. I don't know if the the number 80 of Willoughby got by or not, but he's another rider coming into this one with some not so stellar Moto 1 results as he DNF'd in Moto number 1. So really what's taking place right now, with each passing moment, Casey Cochran's likelihood of a championship gets stronger and stronger because all of his competition is way back and fighting, and he is the only rider that I can see at the moment that is really riding what I would call a consistent race.
Yeah, you're right, Rodney. And Logan Best, he has moved up the pack. I haven't seen him on screen in a minute, but flirting with that, cracking into the top 10. Got to get around Reese Wheaton, but boy, then he's got. It's just been a tough moto for Logan. After he went down, I mean, it's been playing catch up.
I believe we got the
two-lap card out.
Yep, 2-lap card is out, so one more to go for Cochran, who has been in quite the control since the drop of this gate nearly, as they headed around that first turn through the Stasic hole shot zone, and Casey Cochran able to not only take the hole shot, take the lead, and is on his way now to taking the second moto with complete control. Noah Stevens offering up a lot of challenge in those early laps, but Cochran able to rise to every account. Clark Robbins in the number 3 spot. Allen in the number 4 spot. J.J. Willoughby now after 8 in 5th. Powell does get back up in the number 6 spot, with Fowler now having some issues after the incident of Powell. And Fowler's now dropped back to 7th. Reese Wheaton in 8th. Logan Best is up to 9th now, so we're looking at a 1-9 score for him. And he might be able to get a few more. But wow. Casey Cochran is just looking at, if he can hold on to this one to the checkers, just a solid third moto for a 125 Junior 12-17 BC National Championship. Consistency is paying huge dividends, and not only that, but I think Casey Cochran using a lot of patience in that first moto, knowing when to strike, knowing when to push and how hard to push. And as we said, at this age, even these kids have figured out the game, that a 2 is as good as a 1 in the first moto. And whoa, is that our lead? No, that is Best that's gone down. So Best is going to lose another spot or 2 out there as he's trying to get that machine fired back up here on this final lap. So Best was up as far as 9th and maybe a little further. I think he had gotten around Reese Wheaton. Some lap traffic I know got around him. I don't know how many positions may have gotten around him, but there's Best, and Casey Cochran is taking the checkers and the win, or the white flag, and looking for checkers in this one. So still under white flag conditions. I don't know why I thought we were looking at, actually that was the 2-lap, now taking the white flag. I got a little ahead of myself. Casey Cochran, one more to go now. Megawatt, what you got?
Hey, Rodney, easy to get confused. I tell you, there's action everywhere. We're talking about Logan Best, Fowler, Thor Powell, all have been on the ground at one point or another. So as you said, white flag continues to fly right now on the last lap. And I have to tell you, this class did not disappoint. What we're seeing, though, is we're seeing a little bit of extra cloud coverage today. The moisture staying a little longer in the surface, and these guys have optimum traction all the way around the course. That's what's making the racing so close here this morning.
Well, another saving grace for Casey Cochran as he heads into the third moto after this second. Landon Peppard, who finished 3rd in moto number 1, is just now made his way into a 13th place position. Best has dropped back to 12th place, so that's looking and working well for him. Luke Fowler, the 4th place position, is looking at a 7th place position. So in theory, the way I've got it calculated right now is that Luke Fowler may be the rider that will be the one that challenges for the national championship away from Casey Cochran, at least on points as we head into that one. Of course, Noah Stevens, a 5 in Moto 2 or Moto 1 and a 2 here, so he's another one. Noah Stevens all of a sudden is a championship contender as checkers are set to fly and due for Casey Cochran, a wire-to-wire run here in the 125 Junior 12 to 17 BC class. And again, as we said, a 2-2 scoring 4. He is loads ahead, the leader going into Moto number 3.
Well, Rodney, the word right there, redemption for the number 66 machine, Casey Cochran. Absolutely having some issues earlier in the week. Like we said, got him rehydrated last night. Absolute dominant performance here this morning.
Well, Casey Cochran, Noah Stevens, Clark Robbins, Colin Allen, J.J. Willoughby will round out your top 5. Well, at least the top 4. There's is Willoughby in now for his 10th lap complete. Powell makes it in. Luke Bowser, now Reese Wheaton should be checking in, followed by Cason Little. And Wispern Smith, will he be able to hang on to that 10th place position is the question right now as they check in. I believe he will, and so Peppard will get 12th, Logan Best will get 13th. And that bodes even better for that ride right there, the number 66 of Casey Cochran. Noah Stevens finishing up second, as we told you. The 97 looking at a 5-2 for 7 points in this one now, only 3 points out. Clark Robbins, that number 17, going to get the Moto bronze. He took a 6th in Moto number 1, so a 6-3 for him as we wrap up this second Moto. And again, excitement after the second Moto as things are definitely different, and I'm sure a lot different than what folks anticipated them to be when we got to this point of the Amateur National Championship. Mikey Wayne's down on the podium right now. Megawatt Matt Watson out in the field. I'm Rodney Tomlin, and of course we are here in the booth trackside today watching history be made at the 41st Annual Monster Energy AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship here at Loretta Lynn's. And we thank you for joining us here on RacerTV.com. And we'll throw things down to Mikey Waynes, who is about to slide a gold medal around the 66 of Casey Cochran.
Well, thank you, Ronnie Tomlin. And just about on cue. He's getting ready to make his way over here, getting a little rehydrated. It's a good one. What up, Kane? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you, man. Hey, I got my Oakley hook up this week. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. All right, Casey Cochran making his way onto the box. I'm going to hook him up with some hardware, a Stasic Hole Shot Award. And you guys out there in the stands, you got a job to do as well. You got to make some noise for this young man. All right, Casey Cochran will hook you up with some hardware. Here's a gold medal for you. Here is a Stasic Hole Shot Award. We'll let you get dialed. All right, grab that. Oh, is it upside down? Was that on me? It was. Sorry about that. How about let's try it like that? All right, throw it up. There you go. Grabbing a photograph. Do it for the gram. Snapchatter, it didn't happen. Casey Cochran, man, almost a flawless ride for you, man. Grabbing the hole shot, obviously fantastic start. You come away with the P1. Tell us about it, man. What was going on in that head?
It was good. I knew once I got a good gate pick and a good gate, I could get off the start. So the starts have been good all week, but just been getting stuck down in the rough on the outside. So I'm glad to get a hole shot under the belt and hopefully come out and get a few more. But it was a good ride overall. Got a little gap at the beginning, but Noah was riding good that whole moto. And then I guess he made a mistake towards the end and just got a big gap and rode it in. So
how is the track changing up here today compared to what it was earlier in the week?
It's getting way ruddier, honestly. Practice day, it was pretty flat, and I was thinking that's how it was going to be all week from the flood that happened, but it's getting deep and it's ruddy today, so it's going to be a good day.
It's going to be a good day. Hey, you've had a good day so far, Casey Cochran. I know you don't do it alone, man. Who you want to thank?
I'd like to thank Lord Jesus Christ for keeping me safe out there, my mom, my dad, Husqvarna Motorcycles, Vision Wheel, Dunlop Tires, Fox Racing, Monster Army, On Track School, FMF, Power Band, Pro Taper, Baker Factory, Alden Baker, and Mike Brown for getting me ready for this event, and everyone out there who supports me. I really appreciate it.
Bang, there he is. First place finisher, Casey Cochran. Good work, Casey Cochran. All right, Noah Stevens Our second place finisher, we'll get Noah Stevens up here. Let's talk with Noah about that P2. Okay, all right, I got you. All right, Noah Stevens, man, come on over here. Talk to me. A P2 out there, what did it take to put it up here in the 2 spot?
I got off to a really good start. Came out second, and then with about 4 laps to go, I went to put on a charge, and then bike started acting a little funny, so I had to back off, just hold it on to the end for second.
A survival.
Hold it on for the 3rd moto, and still have a chance at the championship.
There's the outlook. Love to hear that. Noah, congratulations on hanging in there here in Moto number 2, man. Who you want to thank?
I'd like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for keeping me safe. My dad, my mom, my grandparents, my whole family. Traction seat cover, anchor grip tape, Dunlop tires, Rob Fox, Jeff Sarnix, O'Neill, Alpine Stars, Bell helmets, 100%. Limited decal, the Cherubies, Mobius, and everybody's part of my program. Thank you very much.
There you go. Hold that medal up. Make some noise. Second place finisher, Noah Stevens. All right, congratulations to Noah. All right, I got a bronze medal to hand out. My 3rd place ride on the way up. He said, I'm so hot. These dogs are barking. Come on up here. All right, Clark Robbins getting the hardware on. Clark, talk to us, man. You're cooking. The boots are off. You're like, these dogs are barking. I'm cooking after that one. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was doing really good at first. I started getting a little tired at the end. I got pumped up a little bit, but I never thought I'd be up here as an AMA 13-year-old, but I worked hard at South of the Border the whole summer, and it helps me a lot.
So you're feeling good. This is a confidence boost moto for you.
Yeah, it's a big confidence.
Well earned, man. Congratulations to you, buddy. Who you want to thank?
I want to thank my mom, my dad, Poppy, Mimi, Saba Mex, Traction, Garnet, FXR, Mount Holly Motorsports, and that's really it.
That's really it. Clark Robbins, hold that medal up. Do it for the gram. Snapchatter, it didn't happen to make some noise. Your 3rd place finisher, Clark Robbins. We'll throw it back up to Rodney Tomlin. Take it away, Porterhouse.